and welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only talk about one particular subject. And today we're going to talk about, it's a really nice subject actually. It's a really nice project that's been run by a charity in Somerset, the Somerset Conservation Project. And it's to do with using AI for a particular subject. So, Chris, do you want to explain what the Somerset Conservation Project has been doing?
Yeah, so we saw a massive amount of medical breakthroughs last year, in all sorts of ways. And we actually said charities and other conservation projects like this could also get massive benefits from using this technology. And in this case, it sounds like they're using microphones to specifically record the wildlife. And listen out for particular bird noises in order to prove the population numbers and do a lot better, data analysis and sampling. And this is one of the biggest benefits we found from AI is if you extrapolate that further, you can separate John Lennon's lyrics out from his recordings and then make new Beatles songs. It's very much the same thing at play. AI is incredibly good at analyzing input of sound and then understanding frequencies of noises and then being able to separate those frequencies from one another in order to prove there was 100 birds in this 100-meter range and they all had this tonality, and humans can't look at data like that and then spot patterns at that scale. So we've used machines up until this point, but it's been old school machines. You feed it the data, you do the calculations, yada yada. Now AI is going to be listening live and doing a lot better analysis and hopefully really helping the conservation.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. When you showed it to me, I was like, oh, wow, it's quite smart what they're doing. And as you mentioned, when you talk about it from music, from like obviously with the Beatles and John Lennon, it's looking at the idea of this and working out where can I use it for my charity or my organization or my brand? Because the concept is pretty straightforward. It's just identifying certain sounds that represents this and crunching the data and then coming up with decisions on what to do afterwards and using AI to speed up the process. So it's typical AI. Someone's come up with an old idea and using technology to either speed it up or to take that bring that old idea to life.
Yeah. And even organizing the recordings, because they said in the article 1.3 million species have been identified over the last 15 months of doing this. And that's just an incredible database of stuff. And you never know how to group these things. So one of the quotes from the CEO was that they were using it in order to make robins. And every time they analyzed a robin, they could take hundreds of these recordings and then feed them into a machine learning model. And over time, you have a giant library of these things. And, that's not something you've had to pre-organize. It's essentially AI is categorizing it as it's taking the input and then organizing it for you, which would have been a hell of a lot of work to do prior to this. Yeah. So it sounds like not only are they using it creatively, but to the best of its abilities as well, which is kudos. Any project that's in the charity sector or the government, we don't expect them to be leading like B2C companies or something like this. But the fact that these guys are taking it that far this quickly and they've been doing it already for 15 months, massive shout outs,
You say that they shouldn't be leading, but this probably is leading,
Oh, yeah.
And it's, again, I don't know how big this charity is, but I don't know if it's a super charity or it's like a medium-sized charity. I wonder how much this cost.
I wondered that too when I first read about it.
Yeah, like how much does this cost? Is it subsidized? Are they working in partner with someone? What technology are they using? There's a lot of questions I've got from this, but from a positive point of view, because it's really, really interesting. I'm just looking at an article now, and it's saying that it's a company called Wilder Sensing who developed the technology for the project. And they said, we take a species like the robin and take hundreds of recordings, feed them into the machine learning model. And over time, you have a big library of these things. I wonder what they do with the information then.
This is the thing is like, I think it looks like it's the Somerset Wildlife Trust, and
Yeah.
this isn't definitely one of the bigger projects in the conservation, in the UK. This is just a small time project. So what I'm hoping is that they can prove this is a very useful thing to do. And one of the harder things to do is when it's such a new technology is to get that buy-in.
Mm.
What's the ROI of this, and why should we collect this data, and how will it solve our future issues? If you can't see an immediate, if I spend this, it will solve X, Y, and Z, and you're inventing the use cases on a smaller scale, then hopefully a bigger company can go, oh, wow, these guys at a smaller scale got real benefit from this. We should implement something similar ourselves,
Yeah.
So I think it takes some of the smaller projects in order to first get in on this, because we've been discussing in previous episodes how the bigger you are, the harder the lawyers press for not having this instantly in there. So
Yeah.
the smaller you are, the more agile and pivotable you are, and the creative you are, then you can make these use cases like apply to bigger companies.
Yeah. The thing where it kind of when my mind started kind of running wild is that you said was it 1.3 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.3 million species recorded over
Yeah.
a period of time.
15
Imagine if
months.
someone used this technology and put it in the Amazon rainforest. Do you know what I mean? It's like how many millions or billions of species are there? How many?
We
It
just
could
don't
be a
think
case where AI will just all of a sudden discover new types of
Mm,
animals, mammals
definitely.
that we never knew like was around before, but all of a sudden we've now discovered 25 new
Yeah.
species. You know,
It might even prove some theories right, like lots
does
of things.
does Bigfoot exist?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Like
We'll
there's
put it
been
in Loch Ness.
I saw a weird YouTube documentary on this, and there was something called a leopard, which was like a cross between a leopard and another animal. And these
Mm,
animals, over time, we're not sure if they've gone extinct or not, because they go into such seclude, like the Amazon rainforest. They
yeah,
really are in the middle of nowhere, and so proving that they exist or not might be AI's capability.
that would be quite interesting to do, like just to see. And then taken out of wildlife, you can use it in so many other things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's so many other ways that you can do. You could even put it into, I guess, sporting arenas, or not even sporting arena. Well, yeah, sporting arenas, and you could probably work out different languages within the arena, and then
Mm-hmm.
target ads to certain people. So you can do things like that, and yeah, there's
In
so
terms of
many
data
possibilities.
collection, think about this. Like, if you work in, and I'm not saying this is a good industry, but like the fossil fuels or fracking industry,
Yeah,
the way they do things right now is they do like these ultrasound radar analysis of where underneath the oil, where the oil is underneath the earth and the ocean and stuff like that. Imagine if AI could do that.
mm.
If it could run solar, like radar signaling down in the earth, and then go, oh, there's a cluster of diamonds there, and there's some oil over there,
Well, oh
and
god,
then there's
yeah.
something else over there, like you'd be in the money, and I'm
No, when you say
imagining,
you mean it won't be us. Yeah, no,
yeah,
it
it
won't
won't
be
be
us.
us.
Yeah, even if we did find that, oh wow, we found some oil reserve, that will be taken off us very quickly.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. But
yeah,
in terms of getting the fast money in like proving a use case, imagine if that technology then was used for 100 other things. Like it could do the next equivalent of an MRI scan to us humans, and
yeah,
then it could give us an ultrasound and go, oh yeah, here's the cancer you're going to experience in 5 years, and here's the this and that. And the whole technology was invented to find fossil fuels.
yeah.
In
Oh,
the same
birds.
way. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
same way that the 1969 Apollo mission to the moon and stuff basically invented the MRI scanner. They
Oh,
had to,
yeah.
yeah, they had to invent new technologies in order to get stuff into space. And accidentally, they discovered that you could get these ultra waves that could produce. And now every hospital has an MRI scanner because of NASA's technology, essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the same thing could happen with petrol companies and then like medical breakthroughs. Is that
Not just
someone,
petrol
yeah,
companies. I just think any
but
AI
anything,
system,
yeah,
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 that could, like, for example, this, like with the wildlife, it's the
right,
technology could exist that potentially could listen to different sounds in your body, and those sounds in your body
totally,
could lead to potential challenges or diseases that you have
yeah,
in your body. Like, it's so many different things that it could lead to, and yeah, it's exciting times.
yeah. So in a nutshell for this one, just another creative use case being used by AI. So let's hope for more of these in the future and that this starts a bit of a rolling.